What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigos.
Let's do this.
So listen, here we go. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12 in the NIV says this. Two are better than one because they have a good return on their labor. If either of them fall down, one can help the other one up. But pity on anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if two lie down together, they can keep each other warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not easily or quickly broken. I said that because it is trade central in the NBA. And, you know, people were saying, you got to have a big 3. You got to have a big 3 to win a championship. Well, the Bible says a 3-strand cord is not easily broken. So they are kind of right about, you know, getting a big 3 will help you win the championship. But there's so many trades that's went on in the NBA. The NBA is going to look vastly different in 2023-24 season than it did 2022-23 season. And I'm going to go from A to Z. We're going to talk about the teams in alphabetical order. And you tell me, what do you think about the trades? Some of these are going to be pretty simple. We know what they are. But you give me an A. I'll let y'all give me an A to D grade on what you think.
Can we give you an F?
Oh, faux show. Faux show.
Okay.
So, starting with Atlanta, they got rid of Collins and got Rudy Gay. We know what that was. We know that was a money dump.
Yeah.
What do y'all think on that grade?
F.
F for Will. What
F.
do you do? F. It didn't make them. It didn't make them any better and made them worse. And no one really understands what the reason was behind it. So, F for Atlanta. B, Boston. They got O'Shea Brissett on a 2-year. They got Kristaps Porzingis to join their team. They got rid of Marcus Smart. My grade for them is a D. And the reason why I said a D is because you got more scoring, but you got less defense. Porzingis does not help your defense. All Porzingis does is kind of help Boston possibly stack up against Milwaukee better. But that's about it. That's the grade I got. Where are y'all with that? You could go first this time, Tim.
I give him a C for it. I mean, Porzingis had a pretty productive year, you know, with the Wizards, you know, last year. And even back when he was in New York a few years ago, he was, you know, a budding star. We've all just kind of been waiting for that star kind of to break out. So I think that the philosophy that their coach has now is a little less emphasis on defense and a little bit more on offense. So he fits the bill with them trying to be a high-scoring team. The challenge is that they try to be like the Splash Brothers and shoot an exorbitant amount of 3-pointers, but they're streaky shooters. And I don't think that they have any designated bona fide gunners on the team. So they might be an exciting team to watch a bit. Porzingis gives them a little bit more mobility in the middle than Robert Williams does. And, you know, you bring Robert Williams off the bench, that could help shore up that second unit. But as far as Boston, I mean, they already were, you know, knocking at the door. Went to the finals 2 years ago. And, you know, we thought they were going to go back this year until they were upset by the Miami Heat. And so for me, I don't think that the team really, really improved its stature because you were already knocking on the door of being the championship team. Marcus Smart, I think that loss is going to be, you know, foul for them. He was the leader, the vocal leader, the heart and soul, you know, of the squad, and one that would get in folks' faces when they were playing like trash as well. So that dynamic is going to take some getting used to, but I don't see this Porzingis addition materially changing Boston. And given some of the moves some of the other teams made in the Eastern Conference, they might drop down a peg if this, threesome doesn't work out as planned, because them scoring a whole lot of points is, one thing if they can pull it off, but their hallmark has been defense. And I think to sacrifice just about all of your defense just to get a little bit tighter on offense when you were a championship caliber team, having gone to the finals, it's a little bit of a puzzling move for me. So I give them a grade of a C for that.
Well, I'm going to give them a C minus. And the reason why I give them a C minus is for a lot of the reasons that Tim just described. But I thought Marcus Smart was the heart and soul of that team. He was the barometer. I don't know who's going to play that role now. Malcolm Brogdon, I don't see it. The only reason why I don't give him a D is because I think Malcolm Brogdon was hurt last year. Williams was hurt last year. And I think them two being healthy, just that alone makes them a better team throughout the duration of the season. But I just don't see Porzingis and Tatum and Brown. That ain't KG, Pierce, and Ray Allen. It is not. It's nowhere near.
Right.
So to me, I give them a C minus.
Cool. The other B squad in New York, Brooklyn Nets. We know what they've done. They just did a complete. They're trying to get something back for all them stupid mistakes they made with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. So
and Ben Simmons. And
Ben Simmons, yes. So who they got was Cam Johnson, is returning for 4 years. Dennis Smith Jr. agreed to a 1 year, and Lonnie Walker agrees to 1 year. I don't know what to think of them. These trades made no difference. I think they may be just trying to stay as far beyond the salary cap as they can, that when somebody big comes up, because you're absolutely not going to get Dame Dollar. He is not going to come to a Brooklyn, because he can have that where he is in Portland. So I don't really understand. All I can understand is this: they're doing salary dumps to prepare for their future. So you go first, Will.
Yeah, Brooklyn don't even figure into anything. They don't figure into the East. They don't figure into being number one in a conference. Right now, as we sit here and speak, who's their number one go-to guy on offense? I don't even know who that is. Cam Johnson and the people that they're getting, they're not even stars. Huh?
I said Mikal Bridges.
I forgot Bridges. They picked up Bridges too.
Okay, they're not even stars in the NBA. They're inflated role players.
Right.
So I don't even see them having a marquee, anybody who's near all NBA, anybody who would participate in the All-Star game, because their record is going to be so lousy. I don't know what they're doing in Brooklyn. I really don't. And you know what? I don't believe that they know what they're doing in Brooklyn. Now, are they expecting Ben Simmons to come back and be some type of superstar or something? Maybe they are. I just don't see it. I give them an F.
C-Mac.
Yeah, I'll give them probably a C as well. I appreciate the fact that they got in the new talent in that blockbuster deal with the Phoenix Suns for the Kevin Durant, trade. They had enough sense to sign, the young guys. And as Will said, they're kind of inflated role players, but they play hard. And I appreciate the fact that they are competitors, both the Cam Johnson cat as well as the Mikal Bridges. I think that they might even be able to this year, now that they have kind of, adjusted maybe to the Brooklyn East Coast flavor coming from, Sun Valley. They might even, come into their own as bona fide starters. Will they ever emerge as stars? I don't know. Ben Simmons, I think that's kind of a holdover from yesteryear, and I would like for them to move him. I haven't been impressed with Ben Simmons the entirety of his career, coming from, I guess, Alaska, big-time recruit, going to LSU. I think he got a bag of money. He never has been one that impressed me, and the things that I thought he was, he's kind of demonstrated and shown, proved that over these last couple of years, back injury notwithstanding. So I'll give them a C because they had enough sense to try to salvage some of the pieces that they have. But I think that, they are probably in the running for some later moves. I don't see them as a threat coming out of the East at all, if they even make the playoffs.
Right. Well, let me just add a footnote to that, Tim. I know you said that he's from Alaska. I think he's from Australia.
Yeah, Australia.
Oh, is he original? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I
think he's from Australia. I mean, just so we'd be more accurate.
Yeah.
But you know what? The way he shoots so cold. I know you thought he was from
Alaska. No, but his jumper's from down under.
There it is. There it is.
His shooting is from the North Pole.
Right. Well, I appreciate that of constructive instruction and correctiveness.
So listen, I'm gonna go through some of these that are just irrelevant, don't matter. Chicago Bulls, only thing they did was they stole Javon Carter from us, which I think was bad for the Bucks. But other than that, they didn't add anybody. Cleveland Cavaliers didn't do anything other than they kept Karis LeVert and George Niang. Dallas, they're stuck with Kyrie for 3 more years. Seth Curry also signs with them. Let me say this about Dallas. We saw at the end of the season how much it seems like Luka did not like playing with Kyrie. But then you sign him for another 3. That was a quandary for me because I'm thinking to myself, what did Kyrie add to that team? You could have used that money and got somebody else, but go ahead, Tim. You're going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he had scoring punch to the team. I think it was an adjustment for Luka because, both of those guys are, kind of ball hogs, kind of, you know what I'm saying? They have the ball a lot in their hands. For Luka, he was used to being just the clear-cut best player on the team, the go-to guy. He always had the ball. He was always looked to as the saving grace. Entering a Kyrie Irving, who was a bona fide stud and could arguably make the claim as he is the best player now on that team. So I think that him coming so late in the season, it was just kind of a discombobulation of how do we learn how to play together. Luka, and as I often say, anybody that does a lot, whether it's professional sports, on the job, in their family, whoever is the load carrier, only thing the load carrier ever looks for is some help. Can somebody help me? So with Luka, I think that he will figure out over this offseason and playing with Kyrie and them developing chemistry and all this kind of stuff that, hey, man, I ain't got to carry as much of the load. This dude really is that cold. I can go sit down and our offense not drop off. I think the Seth Curry addition is a wonderful addition, a solid guy who's fundamentally sound, who's scrappy, who is continually trying to shed the shadow of his brother, Steph, which I think he's done now. We see Seth, at least I do, as his own player. He ain't just Steph Curry's brother no more. So I think that they are going to work this thing on out because I think they still want to win. I think the key is going to be Kyrie just giving Luka assurances as the older player, the more seasoned player, the one that has gone through different levels of adversity. Let Luka
and an NBA champion, and he's an NBA champion.
And that's a very good point, Will. And the NBA champion. Hey, Luka, I'm already established, bro. And all the stuff you trying to do, that's passe for me now. I want to reestablish and solidify my career and standing. And I think us making some noise here in Dallas could do that. Nobody's giving us a chance. People say we suck on defense and we're just going to be a terrible team. Let's get them jokers something to talk about. And having Mark Cuban, who's one of probably the best owners in professional sports, saying, hey, I'm going to give y'all everything y'all need from locker room to chartered flights to food. Let me know what y'all need. I got y'all covered. Dallas might be a little dangerous, man. I think that last year's, beef or drama or whatever it's described as was more attributable to just a late season acquisition and just what is this, more so than can these guys coexist, which I think they can, which is evident, I believe, by that 3-year extension that Dallas gave to Kyrie, knowing full well what's at stake here. And I think he'll be on his best behavior coming off all of the controversies that he's had. He's trying to be a model citizen and help teams win. His one-on-ones with Luka, them going out for steak dinners and all that kind of stuff, I think will calm Luka down, because at the heart of it, I think they both want to win, and they're both are competitors. So I look for Dallas to make low-key a little noise if they can stay healthy this year, actually. And I give that a B+.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Dallas a C+, and 2 reasons. I'm holding out to see what they do with Christian Wood. They have not signed him yet. That's a crucial piece to their success. If they sign Christian Wood, if they re-sign him, then I give them more credibility. I think the Seth Curry thing was a huge pickup. A huge pickup. I think Dallas is knocking on the door. I think Jason Kidd now get his whole team there for training camp, for preseason, for summer league. This is his 2nd year, and he's doing different things. I think this might be the year that Dallas kind of get it together. Now, the other thing I'm going to say about Dallas is that they're one of the teams that I like to watch. They're must-see basketball. Luka and Kyrie, man, they do some amazing stuff on that basketball court, man.
Oh, they're box office.
I love watching Dallas. So from that standpoint, from a fan entertainment dollar value standpoint, I think they're one of the most exciting teams in the league to watch because of those 2 players. Both of those guys they do unbelievable stuff with that basketball.
Oh, they're box office.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So let's keep it moving because we got a lot of teams, so we got to go quickly. Denver really hasn't done much. They signed the Denver Nuggets, the champions, Justin Holiday for a year. Reggie Jackson returns for 2 years. DeAndre Jordan returns on a multi-year deal. And so they really haven't done much.
They lost Bruce Brown, though, so that's a big loss for them.
That's right. They did lose Bruce Brown.
They lost somebody else, too. They lost Jeff Green.
Okay.
They lost Uncle Jeff. Uncle Jeff left and went to Houston, didn't he?
I'm not sure. We'll check when we get to Houston.
I think he left and went to Houston, which is a big pickup for Houston.
Houston did a lot of pickups this.
But they needed a mature grown man in the locker room.
We'll talk about Houston when we get to him.
Okay, all right.
D.
But losing Jeff Green is huge for Denver.
Absolutely. But I think they have enough firepower that it may be somewhat of a letdown, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a loss for that team.
We'll see, because I think he bring a lot of intangibles, and I just think he a grown man for real, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
And combined with the loss of Bruce Brown, I don't know if they're getting back to the finals this upcoming year.
Absolutely. So listen, Detroit Pistons, no one cares. Monte, they got Monte Morris.
Hey, no one cares. Move on. No one cares.
Right. So, Golden State, they signed Draymond Green. They get Corey Joseph, and their big sign of the summer is Chris Paul. Do you think they've upgraded, stayed the same, or what?
I'm going to go first.
Go ahead.
They get a big fat D because number one, they signed Draymond over Jordan Poole. Let's be totally honest, gentlemen. I know we homers, we Jordan Poole fans, but Jordan Poole really outplayed Clay this year. Quiet as it's kept, he played better than Clay and more consistent than Clay. He's the reason why they won that other championship. And you getting rid of all of that offense, and not just he passes the ball well, he creates well off the dribble. You getting rid of all of that for Draymond Green, and then you lose. Not only do you lose him, you lose DiVincenzo. He's gone.
Right.
And Pat Baldwin is gone. So you passed away some of your future. I just don't see. I think Golden State got worse. And they still a itty bitty small team. Me, you, and Tim will post them cats up. So I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Hey, but Kevon Looney played so huge.
Yeah. But that's their big man, Kevon Looney. Come on.
Right.
So that's what they get from me.
I agree. I give him an F, man. I thought that the whole fiasco with Draymond, getting barely a slap on the wrist for that just unexcusable display of vitriol and violence against a teammate. I thought that should have really did him in. His productivity as a player has gone down. I mean, he's averaging a triple single and all the stuff about, well, he's like he's heart and soul vocal leader of the team. I agree with Will that it was Jordan Poole that was the biggest catalyst to them winning the championship, 2 years ago. And I think his outplaying of Clay has been 2 years in a row, this year and last year. And but for him being able to fill in interchangeably for Steph and Clay when they were injured, Golden State wouldn't, they'd still be an afterthought. I think that their run, their dynasty, I think is over. I respect the squad. I respect the organization, what they've been able to do when they have a puncher's chance. But I thought they gave up too much. Said it right. No pun intended. But I think that getting rid of Jordan Poole, I think was they made their decision, and you have to live with the consequences thereof. And I think that it will come back to bite him because he was a great player, an heir apparent, quite frankly, to Steph. Could do a lot of things, and he was improving as a player on the court all the time. Now, any sort of beef somebody might have about this particular last playoff run where he didn't have as much productivity as consistently, hey, some of that has to do with some carryover and hangover from the punch situation and diminishing minutes. In addition to that, he might have saw some handwriting on the wall internally as to how they might have been playing favorites with Draymond after that happened and might have been kind of in a little bit of a funk, which is understandable. I don't know if I would have been able to play with Draymond anymore after that incident personally. Either y'all get rid of him or I ain't playing the whole season. You know what I'm saying? So I guess Golden State played it out for the whole year and then made their decision, but they would have had to make that decision earlier for me. So I give them an F.
And then let me add one more thing to that. Their general manager, who was the architect of this whole dynasty, he saw the writing on the wall, and I believe that when they told him, ownership told him what they were going to do, I think he told him, well, guess what? I'm out of here. I'm not co-signing for that mess.
Yeah,
that could very well be the case, Will.
There's a lot of things that behind closed doors that all of us think happen. First of all, to get rid of youth, to keep long in the tooth. And honestly, Draymond may have 2 more years. Period.
Even with what he's doing now, he's not productive.
Right. They didn't pay him for a
triple single. Anybody get you that. Let's be honest. Right. What's our guy on the Bucks? The mayor of Milwaukee. What's his name? Portis.
Cavalier Johnson.
No, Portis.
Bobby Portis.
Right. Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis give us way more than Draymond Green gives Golden State.
That's a fact.
He gives us on average a double-double, a 15-point double-double.
And he's not a tech picker.
And he play every game.
Right.
But we not talking about he's an automatic Hall of Famer. He's this, he that. Draymond Green done hypnotized us, man. I'm not.
No, we ain't hypnotized. He hypnotized some of them. We get it. We see 20/20 vision.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, Skip. Go ahead, man. I got a little emotional about that.
Let me say this. Do you think keeping Draymond was what they had to do to keep Steph, Curry? Because if Curry says, I want to trade today, everybody's unloading their squad to get him.
Yes.
Everybody's unloading their squad to get him.
I'll give Steph more credit than that, man. I think Steph has demonstrated over the course of his career to be an upstanding guy. There's no way that Steph could see that incident as anything other than Draymond stepping over the line. At worst, he might have said, look, man, I'm not in this. Y'all make the decision, whatever y'all think is best. I'll live with whatever and put it on them. Steph, I don't think him and Draymond is all that thick. They all boy teammates, of course. He's his so-called protector. But Steph, you took Jordan Poole under your wing, Joker. Part of his improvement as a player was because you see he the second best player there, the only player in recent history that can maybe say, you know what, he might be the next Steph, and it ain't no cap. So you being an upstanding guy, a fair is fair kind of guy, a student of Mark Jackson, there's no way you didn't look at that as, hey, Draymond, you went too far, bruh. Playing all the years you played with him, seeing all the dirt he has done, that was even dirty for his regular dirt. So I don't know if Steph went into the office saying, hey, man, y'all better not get rid of Draymond. Or y'all can... I don't think he did that, particularly with Draymond doing that. Then that would give me a different look of who Steph is. And I think he got a bit more character than that. That might have been ownership saying, hey, we have this thing going. We've built this stadium. We've rolled the dice, almost like a lucky charm kind of a thing. Like baseball players, if they wear the same pair of socks and they're on a hitting streak, they try and keep that thing going. I think there might have been an ownership saying, look, our core has been these three. Let's go ahead and ride it till the wheels come off. And if we have to hold our nose and close our eyes and plug our ears to this thing that was totally inexcusable, we will do that for one last hurrah, and let's roll the dice one more time. And I think I would think that's more plausible as to what happened than Steph making a demand saying that, hey, if y'all get rid of Draymond, I'm going to be pissed off.
You know, Tim.
Me personally.
Here's the thing. Whatever decision was made went through him. You could best believe they talked to him about it, whether it's keep Poole or keep Draymond. We know that because that's the way these teams work. The question, the thing that we don't know is what did you co-sign on and what you didn't, you know?
And what I think he did when that conversation took place, or when those conversations, because the day of that incident, when the tape was released, that conversation took place. And now as they approach free agency, I think the conversation took place again. I'm just saying in that conversation, Steph said, look, I ain't taking no sides. Whatever y'all decide to do that. I played with Draymond for a while, but I think Jordan is a great talent that really has helped us get some hardware too. I think he did it like that more so than, hey, I demand that y'all re-signed Draymond or else I'm going to be pissed off. I don't think he did that because he saw, and just based on, I don't know Steph, you know what I'm saying? I don't know none of them cats, but based on the aura that he gives off, he's a good dude. And good people call stuff like they see it, good, bad, or indifferent. Like if a father, if his son did something, he'll say, look, I would prefer my son not go to jail. But he did that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so some of that came in. I think just the character of Steph, I don't think he's advocating for a guy that almost killed a Joker off just some trash talking. And Steph Curry, low-key, is one of the trash talkingest jokers that'll turn around and not look at the basket as the ball is going in, will throw his mouthpiece up against stuff. You can't be a joker that give off all these wolf tickets and another joker come back and now you a punk. Don't know, man. You can take it, you can dish it out, you gotta take it now. And there wasn't no reason my man found him like that, man. I don't think Steph did that. This is my 2 cents. This is my 2 cents.
Listen, I gotta shut it down.
Hey, Tim, you think you got strong